everybody doing today? It is March 17th, 2024. It is St. Patrick's Day, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. Today I want to make a video just talking about ways to stay sober during the holidays. And as everybody knows, St. Patrick's Day is a big drinking holiday. You know, there's people drinking all over the place, and there's all kinds of green beers and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you, where I live at, really close to where I live in Savannah, Georgia, it's only a couple hours away from me. Every year during St. Patrick's, they have a huge festival there. They dye all of the water in the fountains downtown green, and it is just a huge party down there. I've never been down there for it, per se, to see the event happening. Now I've been down there like right after, and I've seen all the green fountains and everything. And I've seen the aftermath of the party down there, and it's pretty crazy. I do know some people that have been, and they say it is a wild party down there. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off track. The point of today's video is, like I said, is finding ways to stay sober during holidays like today, especially on days like today when it's a really big drinking holiday. I think the one of the first plans of attack that works really well for staying sober is staying home. And I know that isn't the most fun thing in the world to do, but if you are really new in your sobriety, staying home is just so much easier. Why put yourself in that situation where you're gonna have cravings, you're gonna have to see it. As you start to get into your sobriety, you get a little bit more comfortable with it. And I still don't like being around alcohol at all. But I don't think it would bother me that bad. I just don't want to be in a party situation. I've seen people drink, but I haven't I haven't been to like a party. The closest thing I've been this far, it's just the holidays at my family's house. And I went to a party one time with my mom's retirement party not too long ago that I went to, and I actually didn't stay very long. I ended up leaving. There was quite a bit of drinking going on. I just didn't want to be there for it. And I showed up and hung out for a little bit, and then I just left. I excused myself, and everybody understood why I was going home. And I didn't make a big deal about it. I hung out, was there, and made a presents for my mother, and had a couple of bites to eat, and had a Diet Coke or something like that. And then I just left. And I'm not saying that you guys can't go do whatever you want to go do. It's your life. I mean, it's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. I'm just talking today about just some ideas of things to do that might, help you through a day like today. And, like I said, number one, I think one of the biggest, most important things is just staying home. I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I know I wouldn't. And I don't think I ever will ever again. I just don't really see any need to. I just really don't have any purpose to go to like a party where a bunch of people are drinking alcohol. I just, that part of my life, that chapter of my life is in the past now, and I just don't see any point in, revisiting any of that. And people are going to do what they're going to do, and that's fine. And I don't have a problem with what other people are doing. It's just, I don't have to, participate. And if it was something where it was a get together and, there was just going to be like some snacks and stuff like that, I'd probably go for something like that. But if I know there's going to be people drinking, number one, I just don't want to be that guy at a party that's not drinking. And, I would never go and like lecture anybody or anything like that. That's not my place, and I would never do that. But like I said, there's just no need in putting myself in that situation where I'm going to even, have somewhat of a craving or a thought about it or anything like that. So like I said, I think just staying home is, number one, is, a really good method to stay away from cravings. Number two, going on like a nice little walk or something like that, especially on a day like today, if you start to feel like you're getting a craving, and days like today are when like there's commercials all over television, you're gonna see all kinds of ads up. There's gonna be a bunch of the big name companies who are gonna be advertising today. I can guarantee you that, especially on a platform like this, there are gonna be advertisements. So that is just part of it. Why in the world, alcohol companies are able to advertise is beyond me. I do know that they have something like 399 lobbyists in DC or something like that, which, would be a big reason why they're able to, but it still baffles me why the alcohol companies are able to advertise when cigarette companies can't. You don't see advertisements for drugs or anything like that on TV. You don't see any like commercials for any kind of like THC products or any of that kind of stuff. Not that I've ever seen. There might be, but as a matter of fact, there actually are. Now I think about it, I think there's that company Mood, and I see them all the time on YouTube. So never mind. But the thing is that there are going to be advertisements on a day like today. So, maybe not watching something that's going to, have commercials. If you're watching like a platform that streams for free, a lot of times like something like Tubi or, this platform or, like Hulu or one of those, if you don't have like the full paid subscription, you're going to see advertisements. And that might be another thing to do, is just avoid a service like that for today. Because like I said, there are going to be advertisements, especially like on days like Super Bowl and things like that. There's just going to be advertisements out there. This is the prime time for them to try to reach out to an audience. But like I was saying, if you get a craving on a day like today, maybe if you start to get it, you start getting that really deep down feeling that you want to drink, go for a nice little walk. Just go for a quick walk, maybe a 15, 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk, maybe longer if you can handle it. Whatever, is going to get your blood pumping, get your mind off of it. I find that when I go on a walk, it just really helps clear my mind. And it just gets that blood going, and, you get your natural endorphins pumping. And it just makes you feel better, and it definitely takes my mind off of anything like that if I ever have like some kind of a craving or anything like that. Another thing as well is maybe making yourself some kind of a nice non-alcoholic cocktail. There's all kinds of stuff that you can make for yourself, and I'm sure that there's all kinds of non-alcoholic St. Patrick's Day drinks that you can make for yourself, or something like that, or just having drinking like a soda isn't something that you want to do all the time, but maybe on a day like today, maybe treat yourself to a nice soda, one of your favorite sodas you like to drink, or like I said, it's not something that you want to do every single day, but once every couple months or once a month or something, it's not going to hurt you. And you could you could have yourself a nice root beer float or something like that today. I mean, why not? Or a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Go treat yourself. Go to your local coffee shop and get that nice fancy cappuccino that you've been wanting to get for quite some time, and you just haven't found the reason to spend the money on that $8 cup of coffee. Go get that. Go get that nice iced coffee today, or whatever it may be. Another thing as well, and this is something that I found that works for me really well, and actually used to work for me before I actually really quit drinking. Anytime that I would try to stop drinking in the past, I used to use this tactic, and this really, really does work. Anytime that I had quit in the past, I had quit, a couple times, actually a bunch of times. And it depended. I would go from maybe 2-3 days to a month, and there were spans I'd gone, a few weeks and didn't drink. And during those periods of time when I would stop, if I stopped, like if I started getting a really bad craving, I would just eat something. And I'm telling you, the craving went away, because I was the type of drinker that I had to drink on an empty stomach, and I knew if I had food in my stomach, that was it. I wasn't eating anything after that. I didn't drinking anything after that. So if I went ahead and made myself a nice meal and ate something, had a full belly. My mind was off the booze. Now, I'm not going to say that it was like the magical miracle cure for withdrawals, because I still thought about alcohol, but I didn't think about it as much. And I knew that I had to wait a certain period of time before I would even be able to drink anyway, because I never drank on a full stomach. I just did not do it. I thought it was a waste. If I tried drinking with food in my stomach, I didn't get anywhere with it. And I would wait a period of time before I would try to drink again. So that's another thing that you could try doing, is just try to eat something if you get a really bad craving on a day like today. Another thing else that you could do is, and I was talking about this for quite some time, watching movies. A day like today is a really good day to just binge watch that TV show that you've been really wanting to watch, and you just haven't found the time yet to do so. Really keeping your mind off of it is, that's really important, and keeping your mind occupied. And I know firsthand that feeling that you get, that you're just pacing around, you just can't get your mind off of it. It's just in the back of your head. It will not go away, and you're just pacing back and forth, thinking about booze. When can I get my next drink? This and that. And if you just sit down and kind of just relax, put on some really comfy clothes, nothing constricting, really loose, super comfy. Hop in your bed, if you have a TV in your bedroom, maybe lay on your couch, turn on that awesome show that you've been wanting to watch that you just have not found the time for. Turn that on and just chill. I'm telling you, just relaxing and just binge watching a television show, it's just, it works. I mean, I don't know exactly why, other than that it just keeps your mind off of it, keeps your mind occupied, gives you something to do for a while. You're in a nice, relaxed environment, and you just feel pretty good when you're doing so. Get yourself a nice snack and something good to drink, and just sit down and watch a TV show. I mean, that really does work. Another thing too, and I've been talking about this over and over again, is today's a great day to start on that hobby that you've been wanting to start on. Have you been thinking about making that jewelry at home that you've been thinking about? Have you, maybe doing that sketch that you want to do, maybe doing that home project. If you hop on YouTube and just look up palette projects, there are so many things you can do with palettes, and there are people who find all kinds of cool things to do with scrap palettes. A day like today, get on YouTube, look up a palette video and things that you can do with palettes, and I'm telling you, there are tons. Do something today. Come up with something. Take those old palettes that you got behind your shed that you've been meaning to do something with for the past 2 months and you just haven't done anything with. Go ahead. Today's a great day to take them apart and try building something with them. Doing an art project. Maybe getting some eggs and hard boiling them and painting some Easter eggs with your kids today. There are so many cool things that you can do, project-wise like that. Make yourself a wind chime today. Get some scrap wood and build a birdhouse with your kids. You don't even have to have kids to do it. Build yourself a birdhouse, paint it, do the whole nine. There are tons of things that you could do, and why not? Today's the day. How about that YouTube channel you've been thinking about starting all this time? Today's a perfect day to put your first video up there. I am the perfect example of someone that one day I just decided I'm going to start a YouTube channel because I want to help people with alcoholism, and I want to make videos for people that are sick in the hospital and bring them some hope. And I just made one video. And months later, like I said, I had forgotten all about it. Months later, I saw the video, it had 27,000 views, and I went back and started my channel after that, and I've been doing it ever since. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time, and just one day I just started it, and here I am. And anybody can do this. Any of you guys can. So if you're somebody out there was somebody on here just the other day that was talking in the comment section, and she was talking about that she wanted to start her own channel. Go for it. Why not? Today's the perfect day. You've got Slayer Sober out there. He just started a channel not too long ago. He's doing good. I mean, he just one day to start his channel just like everybody else does. Guys, you could start a YouTube channel if that's what you want to do. Anything. The options are limitless. But find something to keep yourself busy. Keep your mind occupied. That really, really does work. Another great thing to do today as well. How about cook that dish that you've been wanting to cook for quite some time? Today's a perfect day to cook corned beef. Have you ever done corned beef before? Have you ever braised it? Today's the perfect day. Get yourself some potatoes, some carrots, some onions. Get yourself a big corned beef brisket. You know, you don't want, normally, traditionally, you would probably cook it with a little bit of beer. You know, you don't necessarily have to do so, but get yourself a bunch of braising liquid together and braise off a corned beef today. It takes hours to do it. Get yourself a corned beef in the oven, let it sit in there for 3 or 4 hours and braise down. You got a great dinner tonight, and it gave you something to do. If you've never braised corned beef off before, why not? And the best part about corned beef is the leftovers not only can be utilized for a dinner the next day, but you can also cut that stuff up and turn it into a Reuben. And I'm telling you, there is nothing better than a homemade Reuben. Not using the store-bought corned beef, like the shaved kind that you buy in the package. If you actually buy yourself an already corned beef brisket and braise it down, let it chill first before you try cutting it. Let it sit in the juices in the braising liquid. Pull it out of that braising liquid after it's been cooled. Clear all of that stuff off of it. Get all the fat wiped off and all of the gelatin and everything that's on there, and get some nice slices against the grain and build yourself a Reuben. Get yourself some Thousand Island dressing, some sauerkraut, some Swiss cheese or the Gruyere cheese, and some rye bread or marble rye, some pumpernickel. You know, get you some butter in a pan, put that Thousand Island on there, put your sauerkraut, your Swiss or Gruyere, and heat up your corned beef, slap it on there. You got yourself a Reuben. Or you can either do it with coleslaw. I think that's called an Allison, I think is what that sandwich is called, when you use coleslaw instead of sauerkraut. Or a Rachel. It's called a Rachel, I'm sorry. But anyway, these are just some ideas, guys, of just some things that you could do today just in order to stay sober. But, you know, the thing is that don't give in today. You know, if you do decide that you want to go somewhere and you just don't want to stay at home and you want to go to your brother, your sister's house, your mom and dad's house, your friend's house, and they're having to get together, and you think that you can go over there and you can maintain and you're not going to drink, and that's great, and more power to you. But just don't break today, guys. Remember to keep your mind on the prize, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eyes on the goal. Remember why you're here. Remember why you stopped drinking. Remember why you're sober. Remember why you don't want to go back to that. Remember all the mornings that you woke up hungover, guys. Remember that. Remember the mornings when you woke up and you threw up and you had to drink that drink to get started again. Remember those days where you didn't eat anything all day long because you wanted an empty stomach, so when you got off work, you could get drunk in an hour. Remember all the money that you've wasted on alcohol. Remember all the promises that you've broken when you've drank alcohol. Remember all the lies you've told. Remember all the times you've been at the liquor store counting out change to buy a bottle of liquor. Remember all the times that you told somebody that you were going to quit and you didn't, and you upset them. Remember all the times that, you know, you woke up in the morning and you didn't remember what happened the night before because you blacked out. Remember all these things that come along with alcohol. Remember all the headaches that you have after you drank the next day. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, like I was saying, remember all those mornings when you felt like your head was going to explode because, you know, your blood pressure was so high. The feeling that your eyes are so dry and they're all bloodshot the next day because you're so hungover. That feeling that you could drink 3 gallons of water and you just can't get enough to drink back in you again because you're so dehydrated. Sitting on the toilet for 2 hours in the morning because you have diarrhea so bad because you drank so much the night before. The laying on the bathroom floor in the morning because you're so sick because you drank so much the night before and you've had all those shots of cordial or whatever and now you're about to puke all over the place. There are so many negative things to come along with drinking. The hangovers, the chance of going to jail, driving drunk. Think about all the times that you were, you know, in your downtown at that bar, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, the bar's shutting down, and you didn't have a ride home, and you said, I'm gonna risk it because I just want to get home and get my own bed tonight, and you took that shot. Remember how scared you were on your way home that night. Remember the feeling every time that a police officer got behind you, that feeling of, if he pulls me over, I'm gonna get a DUI right now. Or that feeling of every single time that a police officer drives past you and you see that a Crown Victoria or a white Ford SUV that looks like a cop car, every time your heart skips a beat because you're like, oh my gosh, if he stops, if he turns around right now, that's it. Or the time that you're driving with an empty container right there in your cup holder as you're driving down the road and a cop gets behind you or he passes you. And that feeling that your heart skipping a beat because you know right then, if I get pulled over right now, it's over. Or that time that you've got a 2-hour drive home from your job that you had to go have a meeting in another city, and you're on your way home from that and you've already drank 6 beers and there's 6 empties on the floorboard right behind the passenger seat, and you know for a fact if you get pulled over, that's a wrap. And this is all coming from my experience, guys. These are just my experiences, you know, and who knows what other stories and experiences that you guys have, those moments of just pure terror. Just don't let it happen today, guys. Don't bend, don't fold, and don't break. And stay strong, and remember why you're here. Remember why you stopped, or why you're trying to stop, why you're freshly sober, or why you're 5 years sober. Remember that, and remember that. Like, seriously. Don't forget it. The shame that you would feel the next day if you went back and had another drink, it's going to be unbearable. And the depression that's going to come along with it, the anxiety that's going to come along with it, guys, don't forget about that anxiety. You don't want to encounter that today or tomorrow. I promise you, you just don't. I have never had a drink and woke up the next day and said, man, I'm glad I did that. Never one time. I never have. And I'm sure you guys probably haven't either. So I can promise you that if you go out today and if you slip and you have a beer, you're not going to wake up tomorrow feeling good about yourself. You're actually going to wake up tomorrow feeling pretty bad about yourself, and why even put yourself through that? So guys, I know it's St. Patrick's Day today, but remember, keep your eye on the prize and stay strong, and remember why we're sober. This is such a better life being on the sober side of things than on the opposite side of it. I promise you, and you know it as well. So with that said, guys, stay strong out there. I love you all. I hope y'all have a great day today, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.